I was born in St. Luke's, St. Helens in central Auckland. Our family migrated in the early 80s to New Zealand from Samoa. So my family started off like any other migrant family from the Pacific, in central Auckland. And then my parents decided to move to South Auckland. So shifted over to Māngere, and I grew up in Māngere. So I was the third child at that point. I got 4 other brothers and sisters. I guess like any other siblings, they get along, get into fights with my other brothers, but I loved my siblings and growing up together, and it was a good time here in Māngere. I went to the local primary school in Viscount. Manukau Rovers is the local rugby club that we played for. Got to grammar, and I was really getting into my rugby and wanted to be an All Black one day, but that got cut short when I got sick with cancer when I was a teenager. So when I went to Auckland Hospital, I was 14 years old, but I was on the adult ward because of my size. Didn't know, the journey from that point, so I started losing my hair after the first round of chemo. I guess at that point, naive about the journey. I didn't know what was going to happen. But I got interested in terms of medicine from that point, and I thought, if I'm going to survive this cancer, I might as well put my effort into learning more about medicine. I saw what my GPs had done in terms of my sort of treatment. I saw what the oncology and orthopedic surgeons were doing. So it just really got me motivated and trying to learn more about what happened to me as well. Everything that I do now is a bonus because, number one, I'm alive, and that's the biggest achievement that I could do. And all this medicine, all this politics stuff, they're great, but my number one achievement is, being still here.
His dad said to me when he's sick, if God wants to take him, it's fine. If he wants to, it's fine. But to me, the mother of him.
He had a strong will to survive. We know that he'll pull through somehow. And trusting God, he did.
When we grew up in Grey Lynn, we went to the local church there in Grey Lynn e Whakasa, so traditional Samoan church, giving me that faith to have that positive outlook as well. All I ever wanted at that point was to be normal, but then I started thinking, well, I want to be better than normal. I didn't want to be average, and I thought, pursuing a career in medicine and just being out there and helping the community, I thought, that's going a step further and giving back as well. This is my dad here.
That's your dad, okay.
He served the family quite a bit. So because he held a matai title, so the chief title, Whale Awha, when the head of state would come here, he would help out and be the orator on behalf of him. So that's where I get a lot of the sense of advocating and helping the community, because Dad always showed it. I guess he had that slow decline. He had a long lung condition at that time, so had a lung transplant. So I was in my my 4th year of med school, so I had already knew that it wasn't looking too great with things happening. So it wasn't a surprise for our family as well, but still devastating that he had left.
Maloma whawhatai, Mr. Speaker. God bless and thank you.
So being a politician wasn't on the radar. Again, I wanted to be a professional sports player, and then becoming a GP. My wife Olivia has been good about it. I guess I had to get the go-ahead before going for Parliament. And I've got my 9-year-old son Peter, and my newborn baby now, Ali. She's 2.5 months. So. I guess it's just because it's my first term, just trying to get used to the whole schedule of things. But I always knew that my family had a steep tradition and history in Samoa. So this is my great-grandfather, Te Puta Masesere Lufulikolu, the third. My middle name is actually named after him as well. He led the Mau movement in the 1920s. And New Zealand was the administration at the time. The Mau movement were having their parade, so a peaceful movement in Apia. So my great-grandpa was leading that group, and I guess the New Zealand police were set up at that time, and the gunshots started firing. My great-grandpa was shot, so had his back turned to whoever was shooting the gun and was fatally wounded. It's a huge history for all our Samoan communities that we can look to independence because of the bloodshed that was done beforehand. And yeah, so I'm proud of, I guess, what my family was involved with. So I spent my junior doctor years here, but even before then, during my medical training as a med student, I was in and out here and also at Auckland Hospital. So I got to work with the teams that worked on me as a medical student and then as a junior doctor as well. Definitely a full circle. You know, those sort of bad memories turned into good memories at the end, and really just felt like I was giving back where, you know, a lot of the healthcare professionals here really put a lot into me. Whether it be, you know, down the line a minister or who knows further on, you know, I'm always open to growing in this field. I always make sure that whatever area I get to, I want to excel in it. Like any of my journeys in medicine or now in the political field, I want to go as far as I